Welcome to the Lawson and Gift podcast. Make sure to hit that like button, share the videos, and subscribe. We hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. And if you're a Bills fan, you definitely had a happy Thanksgiving, Lawson. That was a really big victory, the biggest of the season. And if you're Dallas, man, I don't know. You got to be doing nothing right now but questioning your entire organization. I think this gets beyond just Jason Garrett, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's beyond Jason Garrett. It's just the way this franchise has chosen to run itself, Giff. They're not really a franchise to think about what they're doing and plan long term. They're going to end up paying Zeke, paying Dak, and paying Amari Cooper, and there's going to be no room left. I bring that up because that's the way they're set up. But I think the basic change is to get Jason Garrett out of there. But then again, is Jason Garrett kicking field goals? I don't mean to even come to the defense of Jason Garrett, but it was an adventure for both teams kicking the field goals. But for me, Jason Garrett can't kick a field goal. He can't make tackles on defense. He can't pass rush Josh Allen. Sure, there could have been a little bit more variation. That was the thing that stood out to me. You could talk about them not running Zeke enough. You got to pepper that Bills defense. We said it before the game. You got to pepper that Bills defense at least 25 times against the run and see if they can hold firm. Instead, we saw Shaq Lawson start dominating. Ed Oliver looked like an all-pro out there, and they got pretty much just completely beat the F out by the Bills, and that's a problem. That's a physicality problem, and I'm not trying to duck out of this for Jason Garrett, but damn, man, he can't go up and play guard. He can't go in and get in there against that Oliver. He can't make a little pass for Dak on 4th and 4. That's the only thing I'm going to say. I'm not saying the man's a good coach. I think he should be fired, but the Bills dominated in a lot of ways last night. The only thing I felt like Jason Garrett could have controlled better was running Zeke more.
Yeah, I agree. And even so, I thought the Bills did a really good job of stopping that. Maybe they felt like they couldn't run the football. And I think that could have been part of it. But, yeah, it definitely gets beyond Jason Garrett with me because you start to look at this game, and if you're Dallas, it's like you're looking into a mirror, seeing all the things that you wanted to go right with your team. You see Josh Allen getting better at quarterback, a young quarterback, and then you look at Dak. And then you ask yourself, who would you rather have? And I think the choice is obviously clear that you'd want Josh Allen. I mean, he's making things work with Cole Beasley, for God's sake, with Brown, and being able to get those guys open in a game like that. And you look at Dak, who has weapons, not be able to do as much. I think that's one of the stories here.
Yeah, well, that was Josh Allen's best game in the pros, Giff. And we did see him go off with that one big run for the touchdown. That really was pretty much the guillotine for the Cowboys. And you saw, like, the expression in Jason Garrett's face change after that demoralizing run by Josh Allen. And really, the Cowboys should have got him down. It was just too much nastiness from Josh Allen.
And then once again, it's beyond Garrett because when you look at Zeke in this run game, does it look motivated? Does it look anywhere near like it used to? Hell no. And then you look on the Bills side and you see a young, opportunistic Devin Singletary making plays on his own with an offensive line that has overachieved, but certainly not compared to the Dallas wall. You ask yourself, if you're Dallas, are we going in the right direction? I mean, do you pay Zeke? Do you pay Dak at this point with what you just saw?
Well, they already paid Zeke. That check's already in transit, so – but here's the thing, Giff. You're right. This Cowboys run game the whole year has lacked creativity. It's lacked physicality. It's lacked a lot of things. But when Zeke got that 30-yard run, it's just like, why don't you just get down, go to tight ends, pound the Bills? If the Bills actually did do a good job of stopping the runs, I think people are forgetting that after that 30-yard run. But I needed to see more Zeke because you got to send a message to your team. And I know those big plays from Ed Oliver happen on the pass rush, but those were physical pass rushes. Those were completely just dominating pass rushes. That was kind of scary. Like, this offensive line's getting pushed around by the Bills like this, and we know the Bills got a pretty good front. But when was the last time you've seen Star Lotulelei play a good game?
Yeah, he played good, and I think the emergence of Shaq Lawson, I think that's helping out everybody. And then, of course, Ed Oliver just getting better. And that's another part of this story too. The Bills draft, the way they have been drafting, and then this year, it's been panning out.
Well, and
And
where was DeMarcus Lawrence? Where was
yeah,
DeMarcus Lawrence? This Bills offensive line, you're right, it has improved, but I have not watched a Bills game this year where there's been 3 or 4 possessions where the pass blocking is just not there. Like guys hitting Josh Allen in 2 seconds type stuff. Where's DeMarcus Lawrence? Where was he yesterday?
well, the linebackers played their asses off. Sean Lee, I think, had one of his best games, and he was really good against the run and up front. Van Der Esch was out, obviously, but, Lee stepped up in his place. But, yeah, the D-line, definitely underwhelming in the pass rush. Allen had a lot of time. And he got it out quick, too, quite a bit in this game. But you're right, though. There was times when he was just standing back there with time to throw the football with no pressure at all. So I agree.
If didn't Dallas not run it enough for you? Out of all the ways I said, the reason why you put this, you already banked this upset. You put it in concrete. You told everyone to bet it. I told everyone lay the college fund on the Bills to cover. I knew something was in the works here, but just something tells me that if Dallas runs the ball, this doesn't get as ugly. That's the one thing I want to just get across here. They needed to run the ball more. That's my only complaint with Jason Garrett this game.
Well, Tony Romo did bring it up during the game, and it made a lot of sense, too, because I didn't really notice till he said, but the Bills' defense is really good on first down, getting negative yards. So I think with the Cowboys being backed up, and I agree with you. If it's 2nd and 14, I think you can still try to work the run in, even so. Especially if the other team is vulnerable against the run, which the Bills, they have shown that, but again, they have gotten better. But that to me is why they weren't able to run it as much. Good plays on the defense on first down.
Yeah, and the Cowboys going forward, we're going to have to do another video about this, but I'm not so sure they even beat out the Eagles because you got to kind of put that Eagles game against the Dolphins in the bank. I did see a little bit of mystery there, maybe the Dolphins covering, but you got to put that in the bank now. The Eagles, I think that's the story of this game is, first of all, Josh Allen, but secondly, well, what do the Philadelphia Eagles do now? Because I don't see – granted, the Cowboys don't have to play a nasty defense like the Bills again, but what are the Cowboys going to do when they meet a little bit of resistance? It seems like they're in meltdown mode. Then I saw an article today where reporters heard screaming from outside the Cowboys locker room, and I guess it was Michael Bennett yelling at people. That can't be good for team psychology. Did you see Jason Garrett's face yesterday? It was like – it was like that, man. And I think we should see a team crumble, and I question if they – can come back, and I really think the Bills just took their season away from them. That's what the Bills did. It was dominant. They showed no restraint. I love the way they beat the living hell out of the Cowboys.
Yeah, and that's why I had to phrase my discussion today on that. Dallas was looking into a mirror and just seeing all the things that they're not right now. The Bills went in there and pretty much showed them the ugly truth. And I think that's the story of this game. The Cowboys, I think with Dak, they made a mistake. Obviously, with Zeke, you're not getting the effort, and you paid him. A lot of mistakes on the Cowboys side. And now, again, is it something that you can reverse?
No.
And then can you reverse it next year even?
We've been saying words like fodder, and people get mad when their 7-16 gets called fodder by us. But we use this word fodder because it means something. Because even if they get to the playoffs, they limp and win this NFC East with 8. Hell, maybe they might even get 9 wins. That could happen. But let's say they limp to that type of season, 9-7. When they get in the playoffs, they will get exposed. They will get trampled like the Bills did to them. They will get physically beat down. And also get this team probably doesn't have the will for the run. They really don't. And now this Dak Prescott thing has reduced to mean the days of him slinging it for 400 against the Vikings, the days of him putting up 4 touchdown passes. It's December now, Gift. Those days are slowly coming to an end. And without this team being physical, how are they going to do anything?
I agree. And then I'm glad you brought up the Eagles too, because I think that really is the next step to this story. because the Eagles are a game behind. Looks like they won't be for long. They're going to beat Miami this week and tie up and be at 6-6, I believe, to tie them up. And to me, I think the Eagles have a legit chance to win this, not just because it's close, but because I see the Eagles actually still fighting, still playing physical, trying to get better. They are going to get healthy soon. They're getting some guys back. And then when you look at Dallas, you mentioned all the problems already. And then I think the pressure, they put an immense amount of pressure on themselves in Dallas as well. I mean, like you said, Jason Garrett on the sideline trying to act like he was stone cold and have that stone cold face. No.
I've
He
never
was
seen
nervous.
him more angry. I've never seen him more angry, Giff. I've seen this man defeated a lot. I've seen him throw away a lot of games in my day, throw away a lot of seasons, a lot of money invested really quick. But I never seen him like that. I'm just saying I had to text you because I've never seen him like that. He was completely melting down. It looked like his face was melting.
Yeah, he looked like everything was hinged on one play all the time. Like I don't know. I don't think that has a positive effect on the players. I will say that much because again, it puts unneeded stress on your team.
Well,
You
there's
got
no
to be
leadership.
loose.
There's no leadership on this team.
Yeah, you're right because it didn't look like a person that was confident. That's for sure.
Well, the fact that Michael Bennett is there holding people accountable, I think, says the whole story.
That's pretty bad.
It is bad. It's really kind of Mickey Mouse. And I've always defended Jerry, but this might be the most Mickey Mouse version they've put together these last 15 years. And the Romo days look a whole lot better than this. I mean, they were kind of the same thing, but those Romo days for me were a lot more alluring.
Well, at least the offense was more explosive. I mean, and it was more consistent. I think when you look, but then they had some pretty bad defenses back then too. But yeah, Lawson. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys at this point, I don't think there's anything positive really in their near future because again, I mean, if you're going forward with Dak, I mean, how are you going to sell that now? I'm just saying, or Zeke, or any of this, and then that's just going to bleed into the rest of the team, like you said. I don't see anything good coming of it.
I got a question for you. What do you think this Bills team can do in the playoffs?
Well, I got to say, given what we saw from Josh Allen, that was one of the biggest things that we needed answered this year. Can he keep the turnovers down? Can he get the ball out quick? Can he throw from the pocket without running all the time? He's done all those things. This Dallas game was a good display of that. I think the play calling has gotten better too. That was something else that we've looked at. I think they have gone to the run a little bit more the past couple weeks. I feel like the misdirection too has been there. We wanted them to work that in as well, and they have. And then defensively, with the way they've stopped the run now, to do it to Phillip Lindsay and then Zeke in back-to-back weeks, who's to say that they aren't going to be able to stop other teams running attacks now? Because that was my biggest question. Baltimore, I think them playing them next week, that's going to be tough because Baltimore has to play action. And one thing that we have seen the Bills be weak at is those linebackers. They jump up. They bite on play action.
But they have to or they'll get pounded.
True. But to me, I think that is still a weakness of the Bills, the middle of the field, off play action. They do struggle with that at times.
Yeah, and I'm not going to stress and evaluate the Bills from one game against Baltimore. But, man, if you're looking at Baltimore right now, if they look impressive, they look dominant. What they did to the Rams was just absolutely phenomenal. But I know we're going to get a lot of hate for this, but I could see the Bills beating them in a playoff type scenario, even on the road. Not saying it's going to happen, or I'm completely bought into this Bills project without a number one wide receiver, because sometimes it makes a difference having you don't even need a number one guy, but you do need people who are scary athletic like Mark Andrews and Hollywood Brown. But I do think the Bills can minimize a team like the Ravens, like the Patriots. We saw the Bills almost beat the Patriots if Josh Allen stays in that game. I don't know, man. I'm thinking about the Bills a little bit different. I still have them down in the hierarchy, but to say they couldn't beat the Patriots on a good day without Patriot ref ball, I think the Bills got a chance, though.
Yeah, well, they almost beat the Patriots earlier this season. Josh Allen doesn't go out for the whole fourth quarter. Who knows? I mean, that game's up in the air. But with Baltimore coming up, I think the big thing is and why you give them a chance now is because the Bills have shown they can stop the run.
I'm surprised Vegas gave this to us with this +7. Gift, this was probably the most sure we were about a game since that Minnesota one we told everyone to put the college fund on.
Well, we know it's because they overrate that Dallas.
Or trading the kids' Christmas presents just so you could double your money.
Yeah, it would have been worth it. And again, Lawson, it's because they overrate Dallas and people love Dallas. I bet people are so blind with Dallas that they think that in a game like this, oh, Dallas is going to kick their ass.
Who did your dad bet?
He bet the Bills to cover this one.
Okay, good. Okay, good. I was about to say, because this sounds like him taking Dallas. Like, and this would have his cursive all over it, getting into the Dallas action before this game. Good. I'm glad he won.
Yeah, you don't want to try to outsmart yourself on something like this, But again, yeah, people, like I said, people love Dallas, and they'll put money on them, and Vegas favors them too. I think that's why. But I think people are going to take a step back now on Dallas a little bit because there's a lot of issues, and I think they were exploited in this game. This is a game that everybody thought that Dallas was going to win. They thought, well, maybe if it was in Buffalo, the Bills had a chance, but nobody was giving the Bills a chance.
I do wonder how many people bet this game from our page. I really am curious to see that because
we saw the one person put 150 on it. I saw that.
Well, I hope you go buy yourself something nice.
Yes. And with that, Lawson, I think we covered this well. But if you're Dallas going forward, I don't know how you can be optimistic.
No, because even if they limp into the playoffs, they're going to get slashed down. It's that simple.
And with that, make sure to hit the like button, share the videos, and subscribe.